Okay, so generally an active strategy, one which uses muscular control, is the safest and most effective way to progress into a usable middle split range. Now, varying degrees of hip rotation, varying degrees of pelvic tilt, and hip flexion will determine how deep you can go. Everyone's built slightly differently, so there is no single prescription or no single position or cue that's right for everyone. It's important to know this. You have to work with your anatomy in order to improve upon your functional range. So you'll notice that I'm in hip flexion when I do this, okay? The classic Jean-Claude Van Damme kind of splits, or the Chinese splits, which look really upright through the torso and really flat through the feet. That's not achievable for everyone. Some people are built like that, some people aren't. Some people need to use varying degrees of hip flexion. So generally you'll see people doing their middle split stuff with an anterior tilt and a slight forward lean. So you see I'm curved here. You might not notice it from front on, but usually that's what's going on. From here, I'm going to squeeze my feet together into the floor to stop myself from sliding down. So obviously the friction of the surface has a part to play in how hard this is. I'm relaxing my upper body, squeezing the floor, making sure that I'm controlled in this position, and it's 80% of my full range, but not my full range. So if I were to open my hips into more extension and tuck under with my pelvis, and you'll notice I can't go anywhere near as low, and there's a sticking point where my hip can go into extension quite easily and go deeper, or flexion and go deeper, but neutral is actually anatomically quite limiting for a lot of us. So we kind of need to be choosing one part or another. So the hardest thing to achieve would be to go from flexion to extension, so flexion of this hip to extension of this hip, rolling through neutral in a deep range. That would require me usually to be sitting just above my total middle split depth. So the more rotation we can buy in the hips, the deeper we can go. Not necessarily the other way, but going deeper buys you more rotation.